Imagine holding a sword so sharp it can slice through ordinary steel without losing its edge. A blade so rare that entire kingdoms would go to war just to possess it. A weapon forged with secrets. These are the legendary Valyrian steel swords, the most valuable weapons in the world. Only a little over 200 Valyrian steel weapons are believed to exist across the known world, and each one carries centuries of history and conquest. Some Valyrian belonged to kings. Some were wielded by heroes. Others were carried by villains whose names changed the fate of Westeros forever.
Today, we're exploring every famous Valyrian steel sword, uncovering the legends behind each blade, how they were forged, who wielded them, and where they ended up.
Before Aegon the Conqueror united Westeros, there stood the greatest civilization the world had ever known, the mighty freehold of Valyria. Its dragon lords ruled over much of the known world, commanding hundreds of dragons and mastering arts that no other civilization could even imagine. Among their greatest achievements was the creation of Valyrian steel. Unlike ordinary steel, these blades possessed almost magical qualities. They were incredibly light, exceptionally strong, nearly impossible to break, and so unbelievably sharp, they could keep their edge for generations. Even after hundreds of years, a Valyrian steel sword remained as deadly as the day it was forged. Every blade displayed beautiful rippling patterns. But what truly made Valyrian special wasn't just craftsmanship, it was magic. Although no one knows the exact process,
ancient texts suggest that dragonfire played an essential role. This was during forging the Valyrian swords. Some maesters believed blood magic was also involved. Then came the greatest catastrophe in recorded history, the Doom. Without warning, the volcanic heart of Valyria erupted. The greatest empire the world had ever seen vanished almost overnight. And with it, the secret of forging Valyrian steel. From that day onward, no blacksmith could create another genuine Valyrian steel blade. Existing swords instantly became priceless treasures. Kings fought wars over them. Noble houses guarded them for centuries. Some families measured their honor not by wealth, but by whether they possessed a Valyrian steel sword. Owning a Valyrian blade meant more than possessing an incredible weapon. It was proof of ancient prestige, a symbol of noble heritage, a declaration of power.
Many great houses proudly passed these Valyrian swords from one generation to the next. Some blades remained with a family for over 1,000 years.
By the time of Game of Thrones, many famous Valyrian swords had already become lost relics. Some had not been seen for centuries. When people think of Valyrian steel, one sword stands above all others. Not because it was the sharpest, not because it was the oldest, but because it belonged to the man who conquered an entire continent. That sword was Blackfyre.
Forged in the ancient freehold of Valyria, Blackfyre became the ancestral sword of House Targaryen.
I will bend the knees of this land, or I will break them.
While his dragon Balerion the Black Dread was the true weapon that won the war, Blackfyre became the symbol of his authority. After defeating 6 of the 7 kingdoms, Aegon was crowned. He held Blackfyre high for all to see. The sword became a symbol of the Iron Throne.
For generations, every worthy Targaryen king carried Blackfyre during coronations, battles, and royal ceremonies. It wasn't simply a weapon, it represented the right to rule. The center of one of Westeros' great civil conflicts, King Aegon IV, remembered as Aegon the Unworthy, gifted the sword to his son, Daemon Waters. To many nobles, this was more than a gift. It looked like a declaration that Daemon should be king, instead of the rightful heir, Daeron II.
Daemon adopted the surname Blackfyre, taking the name of the sword itself. The result was the First Blackfyre Rebellion, a devastating war that split the realm in two. For generations, Westeros endured repeated Blackfyre rebellions, each one rooted in the symbolism legendary sword, had become the very thing that divided them. After the Blackfyre line fled across the narrow sea, Blackfyre disappeared from Westeros. For decades, its location remained unknown. Many believed it had been lost forever.
It belonged to warriors. Smaller, lighter, and dispeed. Rather than brute strength, Dark Sister was crafted for a skilled fighter.
Its earliest known owner was Visenya Targaryen, one of Aegon the Conqueror's sister wives. Visenya was feared across Westeros as one of the greatest warriors of her age.
One famous bearer of Dark Sister was Prince Daemon Targaryen. Fearless, ambitious, and unpredictable, Daemon wielded Dark Sister in countless battles. Whether fighting in the Stepstones or dueling rivals, years later, another extraordinary warrior, Brynden Rivers, better known as Bloodraven.
Bloodraven, a master archer and brilliant strategist, Valyrian steel blade, Dark Sister. Though he served faithfully as the hand of the king, his path ended in black at the Wall.
When Bloodraven disappeared beyond the Wall, Dark Sister's sword vanished with him. Many fans believe the sword may still lie, somewhere in the far north, waiting to be rediscovered. For nearly 500 years, one of the greatest treasures in the north was a massive Valyrian steel greatsword, known as Ice. Unlike most Valyrian blades, Ice was enormous, over 6 feet long. It was too large to be carried comfortably in ordinary combat. Ice represented far more than wealth, honor, duty, and the unbreakable bond between the rulers of Winterfell and the people of the North. Tywin Lannister understood the symbolic power of Ice. He also knew that no Lannister possessed an ancestral Valyrian steel sword of their own. So instead of preserving Ice, he destroyed it. The legendary greatsword was melted down, one of the few smiths skilled enough to reforge Valyrian steel. From the remains of Ice emerged 2 entirely new swords. The first was Widow's Wail. The second was Oathkeeper.
Behold the magnificent wedding gift for our noble ruler. We name it Widow's Wail, a blade of pure Valyrian steel.
The second sword took a very different path. Tywin gifted it to his son, Jaime Lannister, hoping it would become the new ancestral sword of House Lannister. For centuries, it was the ancestral sword of House Mormont, the proud rulers of Bear Island. Generation after generation, the Mormonts carried Longclaw's sword into battle. The sword remained in the family for nearly 5 years, 5 centuries of honor written in blood. Its final Mormont owner was Jeor Mormont, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. When Jeor abandoned his lordship to take the Black, he brought Longclaw with him to the Wall.
This is Valyrian steel, forged in the old world.
I will guard it with my life, my lord.
This blade remembers its legacy of fierce loyalty and courage for a new beginning. Another legendary Valyrian steel sword belonged to House Tarly. Its name was Heartsbane.
Not every legendary Valyrian steel sword belonged to one of the great houses. One of the oldest surviving blades is Lady Forlorn, the ancestral sword of House Corbray from the Vale.
Not every Valyrian steel sword survived history. Some disappeared forever. Others became legends. The most famous lost sword is Brightroar, the ancestral blade of House Lannister. King Tommen II sailed to Valyria, hoping to reclaim lost treasures. The proud House Hightower owned a magnificent Valyrian steel sword. But after the Dance of the Dragons, the blade disappeared, vanishing forever from history. Another mysterious blade is Red Rain, carried by House Drum of the Iron Islands. Legend claims it was taken from another noble house centuries earlier. From royal weapons like Blackfyre, to noble heirlooms like Ice, to heroic blades such as Longclaw and Oathkeeper. Every Valyrian steel sword carries centuries of history within its rippling dark metal.
Yet even after all these stories, many mysteries remain unsolved.
How many Valyrian steel swords still exist? Could the lost blades one day be rediscovered? And will the ancient secret forging Valyrian steel ever return?